Gene Simmons says that Ace Frehley and Peter Criss are welcome to appear at the Kiss Army Storms Vegas event. This is the Rock and Roll Weatherman. My name is Sean Morrison, and yes, it sounds like drama in the Kiss Full, probably. And I was just laughing when I saw saw this post on the blabbermouth.net page, and someone said maybe Peter Criss is gonna work the concession stands. I thought that was funny, but I'm just laughing my butt off on it. This is actually an interview that Gene Simmons did with Gene Schmidt of Noise in the Attic. He was speaking about Kiss's upcoming appearance without makeup at the Virgin Hotels Las Vegas as part of the 3-day Kiss Army Storms Vegas event, which is running from November 14th to November the 16th. Who knows how much fucking money it's costing? Personally, I don't care that I don't go to some of this fucking crap. But anyways, it celebrates the fans' 50th anniversary and will be the band's first appearance since Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Tommy Thayer, and Eric Singer wrapped up the End of the Road farewell tour at Madison Square Garden in New York in December of 2023. Gene goes on to tell Schmidt that people misunderstood what that is. The Virgin event in November is really the fans of Kiss Army. They're taking over the hotel. This ain't a concert. No makeup, certainly not. We promised we would never do that again. I think of it to Kiss so far. They're taking their word on the second farewell. Then Gene Simmons goes on to say, no touring, we'll get up and jam. In fact, he's not even sure how many of us are going to be there because he knows Paul and himself are going to be there. He thinks Tommy's going to come, and also former Kiss guitarist Bruce Kulick might come in. It's very informal. He was asked if Ace Frehley and Peter Criss were to appear, are welcome to appear, and he says, of course. And after Schmidt noted that Kiss is one of the last bands of his generation to have all living members, and it would be great if somebody could really utilize that still. And he said, Gene Simmons goes on to say that he likes the way that he thinks, but it's dreamland, his friend. It's not how life works. You can lead a horse to water, but that's all you can do. Gene Simmons goes on to say they invited Ace and Peter to jump on stage in Madison Square Garden for the final Kiss concert, and both of them said no, that they wanted this and that. And of course, they can't have that, but just celebrate the beginning. That does suck. There's so much demand somebody wants. I've seen that with Ace Frehley at a Kiss convention. Heard a story that he signed the guitar, and after that, he wanted $1,000 for the guitar. And this was when they were doing for his birthday. Then I heard Gene Simmons showed up in a car and dropped off a birthday cake and ran away. So much fucking bullshit. The drama is crazy. Peter Criss seems more laid back, but who knows what they want and what they don't want. It would be interesting if this happens. I don't see it happening. There's no word on Vinnie Vincent being invited at all. Friends, if you're not subscribed to the Sean Morrison YouTube channel, please do so. Everyone else out there subscribe. We thank you very much for the continued love, honor, and support. It is greatly appreciated. And even Gene Simmons recently discussed the Kiss Storms Vegas earlier in the month on an interview with Jim Kerr, Rock and Roll Morning Show in New York City's 104.3. That's not a Kiss concert. We promised we sold the Kiss property to Pop House, the amazing company that Futurists about a year and a half ago when they finished touring at Madison Square Garden. So, nothing against Ace Frehley, nothing against Peter Criss. Of course, they're original members of the band. They probably do want demands. I'm not knocking Ace. I know I've heard crazy stories about him. And Peter Criss, who knows? Who knows why they didn't really last in Kiss? We're not with the band 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But there you go. If they do show up, even if each of them do a song, that would be pretty cool. Back in the 90s, before they got back in Kiss, I think Ace and Peter did do tours together somehow. But either way, we'll see what the hell happens. But the main thing is that Gene Simmons said that Ace Frehley and Peter Criss are welcome to appear at the Kiss Army Storms Vegas event. So does that mean now the fans are thinking they might show up at the event? And will they storm to the box office and buy the expensive tickets? Myself and Jackie personally won't, because we will not go to Vegas for crap. We've got better things to do in Vegas. Your thoughts, friends? Shame, shame, shame.